What's up, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? All ready for the show? So, what are we going to talk about tonight? We got some fun giveaways. I don't know if you guys saw what I posted on Facebook for the giveaways, but got some fun stuff tonight. We're giving away an RSST tonight from RTD Vapor. We're actually going to be giving away a mod holder from Keegan Creations, so that's pretty sweet. A bunch of juice, giving away a Bear Brass Mods drip tip, so lots of freebies tonight. Good stuff. And then we're going to talk about the usual mod news, some interesting stuff on the horizon, and then we're going to do some reviews of the Nemesis, which is this guy right here. We're going to also review the Billet box, this little fella right here, and we are going to talk about the Diver as well, which is this little guy. Let me see if I can hold this up so you can read it. The Diver. And there's one of those inside here too, so as you can see. So, yeah, it should be a good show. I'm excited. Hope you guys are all excited. Yeah, Billet box. It's pretty cool. So, as usual, let's get the show started off with an early bird giveaway for everybody that came for the very beginning of the show. So, we are going to get rolling with a giveaway from Alice in Vapeland, and the giveaway is a $13.10 gift certificate to Alice in Vapeland. Just FYI for giveaways, as always, unless otherwise specified, the giveaways are going to be for international as well. I'll say if it's US only. Regarding this one specifically, though, the $13.10 is enough to cover an 18 milliliter bottle of juice plus shipping. That's for US, obviously. So international, you won't quite cover everything with the shipping. But all right, let's see here. Hold on a sec. How many people we got? All right, we're going to start off with a number from 1 to 50 for this one. So when I say go and chat, pick a number from 1 to 50, type it out, hit enter, and best of luck to you. Let's see. And for those of you just rolling in, pick a number from 1 to 50. This is for Alice in Vapeland gift certificate, and this is, unless I specify otherwise, it's open for international as well. So feel free to participate. Keep vaping while you guys get the numbers rolling in here. Oh, thank you for the link, Jedi. Alright. Give you a few more seconds to get last minute numbers in. should have video, Keegan. Try refreshing the feed. And stop. Alright, let's see what we got. I'm gonna count your first number, Vape Lab. Only one per person. Let's see what we got. Lucky number 13. Let's see. I see a 15. I see an 11. Oh, there's a 12. Oh, there's a 13 on the dot from Timo. I don't see any other 13s. Let me just double check through one more time. Alright, looks like Timo. Well done, sir. Hey, Pack. Good to see you again. Alright, Timo, I'm going to send you my email. You're going to see it come across as a private message in chat. All you got to do is just send me an email so I have your email address. I'll forward that on to Allison Vapeland, and you'll be getting a gift certificate from them electronically. You will get it before. If you don't get it in the next few days, don't worry. They usually send it a day or two before they open for the week, which is on Wednesdays. So you should get it next Monday or Tuesday. And there is my email address, and just fire that off to me when you have a chance. So let's see. Let's talk about some mod news. So first off, let's see here. This is the Windrose from Magnetic Mods. This kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people. Came and went actually earlier today. So a friend of mine actually pointed this out to me, and I went to the website, and you know, they had I guess there were a couple hundred of them available, and they sold out very quickly. I think I was able to get on the list. I'm not actually sure. We'll see. If I did, we'll be reviewing one in the future, but I don't know for sure. We'll see. It's a pretty nice looking device, though. It reminds me, you know, of course, a Caravella, but it functionally, I guess, it has some differences. I'll know more when I see it in person. The site was not in English, and the translation was pretty bad from Google Translate, so I wasn't able to get all the details I wanted out of it, but it was a similar type of ordering process to what you get with the Caravella, where you get to pick the finish that you want for each piece. So, you know, the top cap can be brass or stainless, and you know, polished or brushed, or actually I think it's polished or satin. But it looks brushed, so it might be brushed and they just call it satin. I don't know. Same thing with the body and the switch and the lock ring. So, and it's also available in, you know, the 3 standard 18 XXX battery sizes. So you get it a 350, a 500, or a 650. So we'll see. But yeah, they're already out of stock though. Sadly, but if you want to take a look at the website, they're going to have some other products coming out. I guess they're working on an atomizer as well. And here's the link in chat. It's magnetic-mods.com. So, you know, give it a look, check it out, and you know, try to keep tabs on that one and see if you know, you can keep an eye out for when the mod comes back in stock, or the atomizer becomes available. So anyway, that's the Windrose by Magnetic Mods. We have the Medusa. So this is coming from China, by CTRA Tech. Now, I have not seen the inside of this device. If anybody has, feel free to pipe up in chat. I don't know exactly how this works, but apparently it's a single end dual coil dripping atomizer with adjustable resistance. I don't know how that would work, but it's going to be available at Got Vapes. It's variable resistance dripping atomizer. So in single coil, you can adjust the resistance between 6 possible resistances. Those being 1.7, 2.2, 2.7, 3.2, 4.0, and 5.0 ohms. And then in dual coil, you can do 1.5 or 2 ohms. So, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know how it's going to work. So, kind of interesting, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, exactly, Pac. That's how you and I do it. We add or take away wraps, but apparently this is gonna have some kind of adjustment feature on it. I don't know how it's gonna work. We'll see. But yeah, so that is the Medusa. I don't know what the release date is. It might actually be in their alpha program now. I'm not sure, but it's coming. Here's another interesting one coming from China. The Innokin Gatling gun. No, this is called the Innokin iTaste 134. So this looks like something that you do not want to use as your mod of choice if you're going to be going through airport security. That was kind of my first take on it when I saw it. It's a cool, I have to say though, it's pretty cool looking and it's really original. So, I don't know. We'll see. It might be a piece of trash. I don't know, but it looks like a cross between a lightsaber and a Gatling gun, and we'll see. I don't. Yeah, but yeah, that was my first thought when I saw the thing was, that's not something that you're going to want to be carrying if you're, dealing with TSA. But yeah, so that's the 134, or the iTaste 134 from Innokin. I don't know if it's going to be variable voltage or if it's mechanical only or what the situation is, but I only have pictures, so. And I checked out the website, only saw, a photo up there, so that's all I got for info. Moving on, we have a coming soon from ProVape. So Provari is going to do a limited edition red Provari. They're going to be available in the standard and the mini. Again, not sure of the dates on that. You could probably find it on their website, provape.com. But yeah, so they've got the red Provari coming out. I'm hoping they're also working on maybe a DNA 20 Provari, the V3. I don't know. We'll see what the V3 is going to be. There's been rumors floating around about that for a while now, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I to be honest, I'm not particularly excited about the red Provari either, Niagara, but a lot of people do like the color choices that the Provari offers, so I don't know. We'll see. They may add variable wattage at some point, but I don't know. Now this next one, I mean, I usually stick to the non clone products and stick to the the higher end devices for the show, but there wasn't a ton of mod news this week for higher end stuff, so I'm showing a couple of these things that are coming out of China. But this one in particular I wanted to show because they're calling this thing a Chalice clone, which, if you're familiar with the Chalice, this doesn't look like a Chalice. The only similarity that I see between the Chalice and this is that it's a center coil. It's not offset. Other than that, and then the fact that it's a dripper, I don't even know if it's bottom fed. I'm not sure. But it looks to me like it's got the same kind of adjustable airflow that the new Cyclone has from Vicious Ant out of the Philippines. The design of it doesn't look anything like a Chalice. I don't know, but apparently it's a Chalice clone, pardon the finger quotes. So, yeah. But, if you're looking for and again, I don't know if it's bottom fed or not, so, it might be this might be something you can snag for a reasonable price to throw on your Rio, or whatever other bottom feeder you're using. I don't know. It might just be a dripper. I'm not sure, but they're going to be available for pretty cheap. So yes, it looks extremely high quality. Yeah, I'm actually not a fan of the look of that either. But yeah, so there you go. That is the Chalice clone? Question mark. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. This guy, this is the Atom by Billet. Over on the Italian e-cigarette forum, e-sigaretta forum. I'm going to post a link in chat. If you guys want to take a look at this. So there is a list up right now. It's in Italian. It may be full by now. There were only a couple of spots left when I saw it earlier today. But there's a list for this device right now up on the Italian forum. Like I said, it looks like you can't see the switch. I'm assuming it's a recessed switch. So it looks like it's almost it's segmented like the Nemesis and the Chi-U, and maybe it has a recessed switch, kind of like the Bear Brass mods. I'm not sure, but it looks like a nice, clean, sleek tube mod. Again, I don't have too much information about it, but if you're interested, that's the link in chat there over the Italian forums. It's made by a fellow named Billet over there, and there's a list up right now. So let's see what else. So this one I'm pretty excited about. So this is the F20. This is from Mr. Frost Mods, and if you guys remember my review of the last device that I tried from them, the GK-MF, it was very, very well made, extremely high quality device, and I'm a pretty big fan of the device. So I'm excited for this mod. This list is active right now on Vaporwall. If you're interested in signing up for one of these, I will post the link here in chat. It's not a 22 millimeter device though. It matches up with the diameter of the GK-MF. It's 20.4 millimeter. So it gives you kind of a nice, clean, almost hybrid look when you use it in combination with the GK-MF. The tube's stainless steel, obviously 20.4 millimeter. You can get it in 350, 500, and 650. And then you can either get a steel or a brass switch on it. And the switch is a magnetic switch. So looks pretty nice though, and like I said, I was very happy with the quality of the GK-MF. So if you're interested, there's the link in chat. Alright. So, that's pretty much it for mod news tonight. We are actually going to do 2 giveaways right now. We're going to do back-to-back giveaways before I talk a little bit about vape mail. Then we're going to do another giveaway. So I've got so much stuff to give away tonight that we're kind of stacking them up tonight. Pretty crazy. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a giveaway from RTD Vapor. Hold on a moment. There we go. From RTD Vapor. The RSST, which is a, in certain circles referred to as the AC9 clone. It's not the same as an AC9. It looks a little similar, but it's not the same thing. But this is, of all of the atomizers that I have tried that have come out of China, all the Genesis atomizers, that is, this is the best one. I think that this performs better than the AGAT Plus or the AGAT2, which was the best up until this point. So yeah, so we're going to give one of these away. And if you're not familiar with RTD Vapor, you should be. It's the best place to go to buy batteries, no question. They've also got a really good supply of rebuildable accessories, or you know, wire and wick and that type of thing. So let's see here. How many people we got? All right, we're going to bump up this to bump this up to 75 here. So we're going to do. When I say go in chat, you're going to pick a number from 1 to 75. And if you have already won tonight, please, if you could refrain from participating, I would appreciate that. Just one win per person. And when I say go, pick a number from 1 to 75, type it in chat, and good luck. Nice, Timo. Oh, you didn't spell it right, Uncommon. Thanks for the link, Jedi. Keep them coming, guys. One number per person, please. Alright. Well, if Timo says it's Uncommon Dialogue wins, even with the misspelling, then... No, I haven't tried the UDI, Chris. I have not. So, I don't know. That one might be better. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try one at some point. Alright, last... get your numbers in. I'm going to say stop in chat in just a few seconds, so get them in when you can. Or while you can. Last second numbers. Anybody? Okay. And stop. Let's see what we got. 39. Let's see if we got any 39s. I see a 39 from Keegan. Let's see if we have any more 39s. Alright, it looks like Keegan. That's funny. So Keegan Keegan just won the giveaway before we gave away his product. Congrats. Keegan, I am going to send you my email address in chat. Congratulations. If you could send an email to my email address with your shipping address, and I will send that on to RTD, and we'll have that RSST sent over to you right away. There is my email address in chat. So, as I said, we're going to do back-to-back giveaways here. So, next up, we are going to give away this little guy. So this is a mod holder from Keegan Creations. Let's see if we can get that to zoom in here. Maybe not. Alright, well, it's got a lovely logo. There we go. So you can see. Keegan Creations mod holder. Fits in a cup holder. This is one of the standard ones, which I believe is a 22, a 23, and a 24 millimeter hole in the top. So that'll fit, you know, any of your standard 22 millimeter mods, and then the 23 will fit a like a Chi-U, and then the 24 I believe will fit an iHybrid, standard iHybrid. So, and then obviously, you know, all the 22s and 16s and 17s and whatnot will fit in them as well, since, you know, they're smaller than that. I know, rocket science. But anyway, it's a beautiful little mod holder. I want to talk about this for a sec, actually, before we do the giveaway, so hold your numbers for a moment. I actually have one that I got for myself, and Keegan said that he would do a giveaway on the show, and sent me another one in addition to the one that I got. So the one that I got is a mahogany. It's the standard for with the 3. You know, it works out perfectly for me because I always end up either putting my mods in my shirt pocket or in my cup holder, like on their side, and I have to set it up so that the air hole's on top so that it doesn't leak out of the air hole if it's full, and you know how it works with the Genesis style stuff. So it's perfect for the car, and for me, because typically I do 3 reviews a week, so it actually works out really well for me. I can put all 3 devices that I'm using that week in here. If it happens to be 3 separate mods or 3 hybrids or whatever, I can set them up in there unless it's a box mod, and I'm good to go. I can just kind of carry that around with me. So it's very portable, really comfortable, and actually it's nice and smooth on the outside, feels good in the hand, and the bottom's recessed too. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of concave on the bottom, but really, really nice. And these are available for sale over at wildvalleyesigs.com. I'm going to post the link in chat here in just a sec if you're interested. There you go. Yeah, they're really nice. Hold on a sec, Keegan. I'll send it to you again. So that's my email address. It'll come over in chat just like all the rest of the chat, but it'll have my name in front of it and then your name after it. So yeah, really, really nice, and we're going to give one of them away. So this guy right here. So let's see how many people we got in the room. Alright, we're going to do a number from 1 to 75 again. So when I say go in chat, please enter a number from 1 to 75. And hold on, settle down, Ken. I didn't say go yet. And there we go. Go. 1 to 75, and yeah, good luck. Wow. I think everyone had their numbers ready in chat to hit enter. That was incredible. My screen just exploded. I got like 30 numbers at the same time. Only one per person, please. Alright, keep them coming. Alright, give you a few more seconds, guys. Get any last second numbers in, please. Alright, and stop. Let's see, we got 51. Alright, well, we got a 50 right at the end there from K-Vapes. Let's see if we got a 49 or a 50, or I'm sorry, 52 or a 51. Let's see. I don't see anything closer than that 50. No, I think that's you, K-Vapes. Congratulations. You won yourself a fancy new mod holder. Let me just double check. Yeah. That's it. Congratulations. I'm going to send you a message in chat with my email address. If you can just send me an email with your shipping address, I will get this off to you ASAP. You did just break your losing streak. Congratulations. Alright. keep an eye out for my email coming across in chat. Here you go. Alright, very good. Congratulations. And Wild Valley e-cigs, the link's been posted a couple times now if you're interested in purchasing one of Keegan's creations. He's also Keegan Creations on Facebook if you want to look him up with a double K. So, and he is in the room right now if you have any questions for him. So, or he was in the room. He's having issues with his browser though, so I think he might have dropped off, and hopefully he'll be back. But anyway, congratulations. So let's keep going. What do we have up next? So just real quick, I'm going to touch on, I guess, vape mail. I have a lot of stuff en route. Didn't have much show up this week though. So this week, the only thing, I think that this was since last show, so the only thing that I got new this week that we'll be talking about in the near future is this guy. This is the JM16, and I have I've got the mini micro on top there. Looks very nice, as you can see. It almost looks hybrid-ish. So and yeah, it's a really nice little 16mm device. This one's the brushed brass one. You know, same setup as the 22, but obviously in a 16mm. But it's got a nice clean look to it. It's got the nice little JM logo on the bottom there. There you go. And yeah, so we'll be reviewing that in the very near future. But that was actually it for vape mail this week, which is a little odd. I usually get a couple things to show you guys, but so yeah, so that's it for vape mail. Sorry, vape mail segment's going to be nice and short this week. JM22 coming soon. So, but I've got a bunch of fun stuff coming soon to review for you guys. I actually have a couple things coming from Bashik that'll be here probably later this week. I'll show you on the show next week. I've got his new silica atomizer, the Big Ben, coming, and I've also got the new version of the crystal coming. And if you guys remember, if you've been watching my show a while, I reviewed the original crystal. This is actually what I'm using right now. I like it a lot, but they actually stopped making this version of the crystal, which is a 19mm atomizer, and they redesigned it. Art of the Exhale did, and it's now a 22mm atomizer. So you know, and underwent a few other design changes as well. It's shorter. So, you know, it'll be a different experience, so I'm going to do another review of the Crystal. We'll call it the Crystal V2 or Revision, Crystal Revised or whatever. So, but yeah, that'll be coming soon too. So, anyway, moving on. Guess what? We're going to do another giveaway. I know, it's crazy. So many giveaways, so little time. So this next giveaway is, hold on a moment. This next one is going to be a drip tip from Bear Brass Mods. This one is also going to, Ken, settle down, bro. I think you're just doing it to screw with me now. So this next one is a drip tip from Bear Brass Mods, which I apparently, I just found this out last week, the drip tips from Bear Brass Mods are available exclusively on my show, apparently. So, pretty cool. So this is the only place you can get these, at least for now. I'm assuming he'll sell them eventually, but for now, this is the only place. And this week we're going to do a fancy little Delrin drip tip that he made. And he hand does all of these on a lathe, by the way. So let's see if I can get this to focus. Come on now. Come on. Behave. Maybe if I come in slowly. Oh, terrible. Hold on. I'm going to take off autofocus because I want you guys to see this real quick before we... There we go. So this is the nice little Delrin Bear Brass Mod drip tip. So, and it's got a nice wide bore down the center too, so it's got really good airflow, as you can see. So, Let's see here. Autofocus back on. Let me see. We're going to do a number from 1 to 75 again. And then we're going to get into the reviews after this. So when I say go in chat, pick a number from 1 to 75. If you have already won, please refrain from participating in the giveaways. And go. It's a good camera, Boondock. Just it doesn't like to autofocus close up for me for some reason. The video quality on it is much better than any of the built-in cameras on my laptops though. So you can piff if you want, Timo. That's fine. If you have one already and you still want to throw down a number and piff it to somebody, then that's fine. Yeah, I had said no to that before, like Karen said, but there's no good reason why I shouldn't allow that. So go right ahead. Oh, just on this episode, Ken. So you can win another drip tip if you win. Just no more than one winner per episode of my show. That's all. No more than one win per episode of my show, I should say. There's always more than one winner. You're all winners. You know it. You all are. Alright, so get your numbers in. Any last second numbers? And stop. Alright, let's see what we got. 34. Do we have any 34? So I see a 32 from Ken. Let's see. 33 from AKA... Oh, we got 3 33s. Quackster, Riffraff, and AKA Robo. I don't see any 34s though. Looks like we got a 3-way tie on the 33s, so we're going to have to do a roll-off. Alright, so the 3 of you guys that had 33s, or gals, Riffraff, Quackster, and AKA Robo, I'm going to say go in chat. And when I say go in chat, you're going to pick a number from 1 to 10, and the closest of the 3 of you will be the lucky winner. So, go. Yeah, no 35s either. Alright. AKA Robo, just need a number from you, 1 to 10. Oh, 7's already picked. Pick a different number. Robo. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got. 3 on the dot, Quackster. Congratulations. You've got yourself a lovely little drip tip coming. So, I am going to send you a PM in chat with my email address. If you could just send me a email with your shipping address, and I will send this off to you ASAP. Congratulations. There you go. Alright, awesome. So, lots of giveaways tonight. And there's more to come too. So, but let's get to talking about some of these devices that we're going to review tonight. So first off, we're going to talk about the diver. So let's see here. I'm going to throw a link up in chat for you guys, so you can take a look. This is the link to the Atmistique website, which is their Greek site. No, it's not Holy Diver. This is not made by Dio, sadly. May he rest in peace. This is the diver rebuildable. I almost want to call it a rebuildable cartomizer because it's almost what it is, but I mean, it is still an atomizer. It doesn't have the cartridge filler, but it functions in a similar way to a carto. So the diver is a rebuildable atomizer that is the same size as a 510D cartomizer. So it is ideal for use in tanks, and it is designed to be used in tanks. And there are a lot of really nice tanks out there, and you know, for someone that's maybe looking to make a switch from carto tank use to rebuildables, this could be a good transition, especially if you've spent a lot of money on you know, higher end carto tanks, like you know, some of the nice Greek ones, like the trap tank. You know, there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. You know, some of the beautiful stuff you can get from Bedazzle. I mean, you know, there's tons and tons of high-end tank vendors. So if you spent a lot of money on those and want to jump into rebuildables, this could be a good way to do that. It has some similarities to the Killer. It's a lot more simple than the Killer. And I found it easier to work with than the Killer. It doesn't have the adjustable juice flow like the Killer does, but it also will fit in all devices, whereas the Killer does not. For example, you can't use the Killer in a billet box, but you can use the diver in a billet box. I'll get into how in a little bit. But so the design apparently was based on an idea from back in 2011 that, you know, they waited on for a couple years to release, and made some tweaks to it. And they had 6 different variations before they came up with the final design, varying ceramic sizes, hole sizes, tube structure, and this was the final design. So it's 304 stainless, except for the brass center pin, and it's basically just essentially 4 parts. It's really, really simple, and I'll show you when I disassemble this guy. So so first I just want to mention, actually, well, first thing I want to do is mention the cost. So it's also a lot less expensive than the Killer. It's only 36 euro, so it's around 50 bucks. And the Killer is more than that. Actually, it's not a lot less expensive, but it is less expensive than the Killer. So it's right around 50 bucks. It's a good price to get into, you know, a high quality rebuildable atomizer, especially, like I mentioned, if you're in this situation where you've got all of these tanks sitting around. It is pretty readily available too. They're in stock. It comes with an extra ceramic, so you can see here. It comes in a nice little pouch as well. This is the little pouch that it comes in. It's got the Atmistique logo on the front there, and the device itself. It's pretty much what you get. Now here's one thing I want to mention before we go any further. I did modify the device. I didn't modify it in any way that will affect the performance of the device, but if you're going to get a billet box and you want to get a diver for the billet box, you will have to sand down the length of this device. You're going to have to sand the top down about 1/8 of an inch. So I guess around 1.5 to 2 millimeters to get it to fit properly in the billet box. It does not fit otherwise, and it's not that it doesn't fit in the tank, it doesn't fit in horizontally. You can't actually push the atomizer into the housing on the inside of the billet box. It'll fit fine in the tank, but you can't pop it in. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to get a billet box diver setup, which seems to be very popular because, you know, the billet box is kind of a hot item right now in kind of the rebuildable community, and this is the only way that you can actually make it a rebuildable, is by using it with the diver. So let's pop this guy open so you can see what this looks like. So basically you have this whole unit unscrews right here just below the juice feed hole there. So you know what, I'm gonna take off autofocus again. Hold on a sec. We'll do all this. We'll do this all close up. Alright, so you have the device here. You can see there's the juice feed hole, and we'll unscrew this and show you what it looks like underneath. Now I played around with a few different setups. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So it's nice and snug. Get this unscrewed here. There we go. So alright, so I set it up a little bit differently than I saw you know, the recommended setup on the tutorial. What I did was I did a double wick, as you can see, and I have wick that goes down the side. You're supposed to cut the wick to just above where the threading is, and when that's pushed down, that's about right. But what I did was I left the top two pieces long so that they would feed up inside the tube a little bit, and what that'll do is it'll allow the wick to hold more juice. So if you take a longer drag, it's not going to dry out, and I found that to work pretty well. I did have to do a little bit of tweaking with it to get it to work just the way that I wanted to, but I don't know, I guess I would call it a little bit finicky, but it's not too bad. I didn't have as many issues getting it set up as the killer, or getting it working properly as I did with the killer. So basically, you know, it's pretty simple. You have you've got the ceramic cup here, you've got your little, I've got my little coil that I built in there, and the resistance wire obviously makes up the coil, and this is one of those devices where you need to, let me stop myself. So supposedly you can set it up without using non-resistance wire. However, they recommend using non-resistance wire, so I set it up with non-resistance wire because I always want to make sure that I use the device as it's intended. So basically you have the legs going through two tiny holes that are in the bottom of the ceramic. One of those legs kind of folds under the bottom of the ceramic, and then you push this center pin that you see here, this brass piece. That's actually a long brass post. You push that in, and what it does is it pushes the positive leg, and it doesn't matter which side you use, both sides are the same. You push that in, and it actually pushes it up the center of the ceramic a little bit. And then the other one, the other wire you just let hang out, and when you push the ceramic into the base here, it'll come out on the side, and you might actually be able to see it. You can see it if you look really close. You can see a little speck of wire just below that wick, right there. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, that's the top of the negative. So I trimmed it off right at the right at the threading at the top there. And it's really not that difficult to set up. It didn't take me long to set it up. It did take me a few tries to get it set up properly. One of the things that I found, and actually a friend of mine mentioned this to me, is if you set it up and have the wick a little bit too far, or have the wick and coil a little bit too far down so that it's touching the top of the positive post, which also serves as airflow. As you can see, there's a hole in the bottom of the positive post there. It will leak down the center of the airflow because it's in contact with the I'm going to take this off, hold on. There we go. So it'll leak down the center of the positive post because it's in contact with the bottom of the wick, and it's directly in contact with juice, and it kind of wicks down into that hole. So you need to kind of need to kind of lift up the coil a little bit so it's not touching that positive post. The other thing that you need to do when you set it up is you need to make sure, and what they recommend doing is before you put the assembled wick and coil and ceramic in there, you want to screw this down all the way, and you want to mark off where the feed hole is. Once it's screwed down all the way, you want to mark off where that lines up on the base. And then what you want to do is you want to put the ceramic in so that the wicks are perpendicular to the wick hole. You don't want the wicks to line up with the feed hole on the side of the body, because if you do, it'll cause it to flood. So you actually want that to be lined up with like you want it to end up like this, basically, where you have the wicks perpendicular to it. But then putting it together is really simple. You just, I have the long wicks set up on there, but basically you just, trim the wicks down so that they're trimmed down to right where the threading is, and then, screw it in, and you're done. And that's it. That's your assembled unit, and then you slide it into your tank, and you're good to go. Now I have a second one that's in this device already. Have one in here inside the billet box, as you can see. That is a diver in there. So as far as the ease of setup goes, I did find it easier to set up than the killer. It sounds like a pain in the butt, but it actually wasn't that bad. I will say this though, I did have a couple issues with it flooding. I know that it was because of my setup, like I said, where you have to lift the wick and coil up a little bit so it's not touching that positive post. You also have to make sure that it's assembled nice and snug and tight. If everything's not pushed down, then it will, potentially flood as well. But, once I got it set up and working properly, it's a good vape. Now, let's talk a little bit about the quality of the vape that I get from it. So, I have a 1.4 ohm coil on this, and I'm running it at 4.5 volts on the billet box. And let me just show you the vapor production here. It's very good. The vapor production is very good. One thing I did notice, or one thing I do notice, is you can't take a real long drag on it because it doesn't wick fast enough through the feed hole to keep up with the keeping the wick wet on the inside. That was one of the reasons why I did those two long legs on the wick, so it holds a little bit extra juice in between puffs. It has more juice inside. This is, I'm actually not sure what this is. This is Frankenvape from the standard. Whatever the standard VG-PG ratio is for that, I actually don't know what it is. So, yeah. It's a little finicky, but you do get a quality vape from it, even though you can't take the long drags. So Alright. It's a good, clean taste. I don't taste the silica, which is an issue that I've had on other silica devices. Um, the vapor production is very good. The flavor is very good. The flavor is very clean. The only issue that I have is the finickiness of the setup and the fact that you can't, if you want to take a long drag, you can't. Yeah, I also notice you can't chain vape for the same reason. It needs a little bit of time to kind of refeed if you don't want to take a primer puff. The other way that you can do it is, you know, you take a drag, and then take a couple puffs to feed some juice in, and then take another drag. So that is the that is another downside to it. So overall, just to kind of sum it up, I like the device. I think it's a really good idea. It performs well for what it is, but it has limitations because of the size of the device and because of the way that it's made and the way that you construct the wick. There's not a lot of wick material in there, so you're not going to be able to take a super long drag because it's not going to keep up. You know, I mean, if you really want, you can try fiddling around with it and bore out the feed hole, and you know, I mean, I didn't personally. You know, I like to use devices stock. You know I did say I had to modify this. I just sanded the top down, which doesn't change the performance at all. But I don't like to modify the way a device performs before I review it. You know, overall, I would give it a thumbs up. I think it's not something that I would use regularly personally. However, I do like it better than the Killer. Even though it doesn't have that juice flow control, because I found for some reason with the Killer I just could not get the thing to wick properly no matter how I set it up. Maybe the juice I was using was too thick, I don't know. Maybe it was user error. I feel like I'm pretty good at setting up coils at this point though, and I still was having issues with that. But regardless, this I found easier to set up than the Killer. I find it performs better, and it's also going to fit in more devices. So I do recommend it, especially if you're in a situation like I mentioned earlier where you have a bunch of, you know, nice cardo tanks. You're looking to get into rebuildables. You don't want to you know, sell off your cardo tanks and start buying Genesis atomizers or whatever. You know, it's a good, I don't even want to call it a stepping stone, but it's a good step up from you know, for a cardo user to get into rebuildables, and it's not too difficult to set up, especially if you buy you know, pre-made wires, because really the real difficult thing with setting these up is actually doing the wire joining, which can be a pain to get the hang of. You know, I ran Penelopes for a long time, so you know, I've got it down pat. But I know, you know, I remember in the very beginning it was a pain in the butt to get used to that. Although now they have wire joining tools that you can use to do it for you, so you could just pick one of those up too. So, summary: I like the Diver. It's not my favorite device. I would recommend it, especially for people that are looking to take a step up, that are cardo tank users and looking for something to put in a cardo tank. So. Or for someone that's looking to get a billet box and wants to have a rebuildable setup for the billet box. So, there you have it. That is the Diver. So, let's move on. We are going to do another giveaway. Surprise. So this giveaway is going to be from my friend over at Vape Syndicate. So if you're not familiar with Vape Syndicate, you should check them out. I'm sure Jedi will post the link up for me if he's still in here. They are it's a cool shop. Every Friday at noon, for the most part, he posts new handmade drip tips up on his site. He makes some really nice drip tips. He also has really good juice. He does tobacco blends, so he does tobacco blended with other flavors, like a tobacco and banana. Then he does like a tobacco sweet tart kind of flavor, and they're all really good. And I'm actually not a huge fan of tobacco vapes, but I like his juices a lot. So thank you, Jedi. So what we're going to give away is we're going to give away a giant sample pack. This is going to be a sample pack of 7 milliliter bottles of all 5 of the flavors that he sells. So you're going to get 35 milliliters of juice. Not bad. And 7 milliliters is a pretty good size sampler. That's enough to fill a couple of tanks up. So when I say, oh, let me see how many people we got in here real quick. Hold on. Alright, so when I say go in chat, you're going to do a number from 1 to 75 again. If you've already won, you can piff to someone else if you'd like to participate. But please, no more than 1 win per episode, and also no more than 1 number per random number generation. So, here we go. Wow, again, you guys, with it 3 seconds and there's 30 numbers. Boom. You guys are so silly. Alright, keep them coming. I'm gonna sit. You can sit here and watch me vape if you've already put a number in. Enjoy. Alright, we'll give you a few more seconds. I say stop, no more numbers please. Alright, let's see what we got. 9. Okay. Space Cadet with a 9. I think that's it. I don't see any other 9s. Alright, congratulations, Space Cadet. That's all you. I am going to send you my email address in 1 sec, as soon as I can scroll down here. There we go. If you could go to... Well, actually, you don't even need to go, because it's... you don't even need to go to the website. Just tell me what your PG-VG ratio preference is, if you have one, and the NIC level that you want, and your shipping address. And if you can send all that to me via email, I will get that on to Vape Syndicate, and you'll have a sample pack coming your way shortly. So, congratulations, sir. Alright, let us move on. Next we are going to talk about the billet box. So, the billet box. This is the billet box. Marvel of modern technology, the billet box. So, hold on, let me get you a link to the billet box real quick if you guys want to check out their website. Here you go. So the deal with the bill, oh, that didn't come over proper. That's fine. You should be. That link will work. So the billet box. It's 179 bucks. It is precision milled 6061 T6 aluminum. That's what the body is made of. It's USA made dragon plate carbon fiber. That's what the black fiber is on the outside. They are not currently available. They're going to be doing, they did pre-orders not too long ago. They're going to do another pre-order after the first pre-order ships. It'll probably be next month sometime. The plastic components are machined DuPont Delrin plastic. It's got a stainless steel ball bearing sliding lock. Everything's made with FDA approved materials. It holds 6.5 milliliters of juice, which is pretty cool. It's got a quick refill through a ball valve on the tank. I'll show you how that works. And it's variable voltage from 4 to 5.5 volts. It has a 30-day warranty as well, and it takes two 16340 batteries. So as you can see here on the inside, those are 16340s, not 18350s. So let's hold on a sec. So let's talk about this thing, the billet box. So this has been very, very much hyped. I think a lot of it has to do with the design. It has a ball bearing, Ken. It's got a ball bearing lock. So if you take a look here on the inside of the back cover, it's got this slot that runs down the center, and then this little divot right here. So, and then on the inside, there's a ball bearing right here that's like spring loaded. And when you slide this up, it slides through that groove, and then it locks into place in the little divot. So, and it's very firm lock on there too. So, let's see. It comes with, now just so you know, this is actually not my device. This is a friend of mine let me borrow this so that I could review it on the show. So thank you to my friend that let me borrow this, whose name I won't mention. Oh, oops. That's right, you're famous now, Kel. So my friend let me borrow this for the show, and so I don't have everything that comes with the device, but it does come with, you can get it with an extra tank. It also comes with a special fill syringe that you use with the little ball bearing fill, or the ball valve fill. I'll show you how that works in a little bit. And aside from that, you know, you get the device. You'll need to order the batteries separate. But it's pretty compact. So if you take a look at this now, and keep in mind that this is with the tank and the atomizer and everything, you know, we'll hold this side by side with the Nemesis, and this is an 18650 mode. So height wise, you know, it's much more compact. It's about the size of a playing card, maybe a little bit smaller. Obviously it's wider than a tube mod, of course, because everything is set up in parallel in here. You know, it's maybe about as wide as, a little wider than two tube mods, two 22mm tube mods. It's probably about 50mm wide. It looks nice. You know, aesthetically, I think it's really cool. It's very well machined. You can feel the quality of the device just, you know, holding it, and everything feels like it's really sturdy. And you know, and I do like the look of the carbon fiber. I'm typically not much of a box mod person, but I think that this one does look pretty classy. I like the way that the button is set up too. If you can see from the side here, it's actually completely flush. So it's you know, it doesn't lock, but I haven't had any issue with it firing on its own. It's pretty firm. So you know, you would really need to Yeah, I mean, you'd probably you'd have to throw it in your pocket with your keys and have your keys press up against the button or something to get it to misfire. So, um, the it's not clicky, but it's got a nice tactile feel to it. The button firing. Um, Now I mean, I want to talk about the internals on this thing because it's pretty cool. It's pretty slick. So, you've got some nice engravings like I showed you on here. It says hand and robot made in the USA. Kind of cool. It's got the revision number on there too. This is revision 1.1, and then it's got their logo, the BB. That's the inside of the back cover, and then inside the device itself, you've got the voltage engraving, as you can see, and it says billet box on there, and then you can see the tank is inside the device. Come on now, there we go. So. And then you've got the two batteries down here in parallel. So this is pretty cool. The way that you put this tank in, it actually comes out really easily. So you take your drip tip out of the top, and at the top you've got this little brass piece that's got it looks like it's got two little airflow slots. Those are actually not airflow slots. Those are for screwing that top piece in and out. So, and you can do this with your fingernails, and I think they designed it so that it's easy to do. But basically you just turn this little thing on the top around a couple times, and then the whole tank pops right out. You can see right there. And then, if you need to replace your your atomizer or your cartomizer, whatever you're using in here, you can either empty it first and then pull it out, or however you want to go about it. And it's easier to work with when you pull the tank out. That's for filling, and obviously for replacing the atomizer you have to do that. But for filling, I found it easier to pull the tank out to do that. So the filling is actually pretty cool. So this little ball right there, it's actually a ball valve. I know we've been saying balls a lot tonight, but so it's a little ball valve, and basically what you do is you take either a syringe or like a plastic pointed fill bottle, and you push in with the tip of it, and that little plastic ball right there actually will go right in. I'll show you with a screwdriver real quick, just because I don't have the fill bottle handy. But this is basically how you fill it. So pretend this is a syringe. You just push on the, hold on, focus. One moment. So you would just push on that with the screwdriver, and it'll actually just go right in, as you can see, and then it pops back out. So you push it in with the syringe, fill it up, pull it back out. Pretty simple. There we go. And putting this back in, it's really easy. I mean, it just pops back in, as you can see here. Just pop that back in, and then you tighten this screw back down on the top, this little brass ring, and that makes it fit snug. Now it won't pop out on its own. Shake it up all you want, put the drip tip back in, slide the back cover on, and you're good to go. So, I mean, I think, it was designed with cartos in mind. The design is really nice with the tank on the inside. It's a different take on other designs that I've seen, where you have, like a bored down, like a recessed hole, almost like a hole, in like a wood box mod where you have a hole almost like this, and like a hole in one of the Keegan's Creation mod holders, where the atomizer actually, or the carto tank actually can sit down inside that, or the atomizer can sit down inside that, to give kind of the same effect where you have the, it makes the device more compact. You'll have the battery on one side and then the atomizer recessed in here, like a sticker type of setup, like the Sidewinder kind of setup. so that's nice. It's a different take on that, you know, where it's actually inside the device. You can't see it at all. All that you see is the box on the outside. It's pretty cool. Visually, I think that they did it did a really good job with the design. I like the look of it a lot. I like the way that it feels in the hand. But I hope you guys don't hate me when I say this, but performance-wise, I mean, I don't know. It's not. It doesn't. It's not blowing my mind. I mean, like, I would like to be able to crank it up a little higher than 5.5, or maybe go a little lower, use a lower resistance atomizer. I don't know. The fact that it only goes from 4 to 5.5 was surprising. I figured it would be 3 to 6 like everything else that's on the market right now. Maybe it's a higher quality electronics that they're using and that has a limited voltage range. I don't know. But, you know, I mean, it's still... I hate even saying this. Okay, so for a cardo tank user, this thing's fantastic. For someone that really loves the diver, this is fantastic. You know, the form factor is fantastic. It feels really nice. It works well. You know, for a Jenny user, for someone that's into rebuildables, I'm not getting as good a vape from this as I do from my Jennies. You know, I find, like I said, I have to take shorter pulls. You know, I mean, if you're an experienced cardo user, maybe you'll have a different experience than I do than I have with the diver with your cardos. You know, if you do like a, you know, drill some extra hole or punch some extra holes in it, so you get really good juice flow and you can take a nice long drag off of it. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, performance-wise, like I said, it's not blowing my mind. So, yeah, I know. That's terrible. I was all excited about it. I wanted to love it, and it's just, I don't know. It's just not quite doing it for me. Maybe it's just because I've gotten so used to vaping Jennies, and you know, you don't get quite as clean a flavor as you do on a Genesis when you go to a Silica. I can't even imagine using a cardo in this, because I know with cardos you don't get quite as good a vape as you do off of a Silica rebuildable either. So I think that it would be maybe a step down from, you know, using the diver in this. However, that said, if you are a cardo user, I think that this is a phenomenal device. I would definitely recommend it for someone that's a cardo user, or for someone that is, you know, a cardo tank user and looking to looking for something that's a little more compact. If you don't hate box mods, I know a lot of people do. I'm not a huge fan of them myself. But again, if you're a Jenny user, I would stick to the Jennies, personally. Although it doesn't leak, which is nice. But personally, if I were going to go for a travel device, I would rather use a Vinci or a Rio bottom feeder with a Chalice or an ERA or something like that on it for a leak-free portable setup that's going to hold a good amount of juice, rather than going this route. That's my personal take on it. So, overall, yes, I think it's a good device. I don't think it's for everybody, though, and it is not for me. So there you have it. So that is the billet box. Let us move on. And if you guys have any questions about it, we can talk about that later on in the show, like we usually do at the end of the show. So, what do we have next? Next, we are going to do another giveaway. So, for this giveaway, this one is going to be from, one moment please, E6 Vapors. This is going to be another giant sample pack. This one will be six 6 milliliter bottles of juice, so 36 milliliters of juice total. This will be a sample pack where you get to pick the 6 flavors that you want from their website. Jedi, if you could throw the website up for me, I would appreciate it. Oh, look at that. He's way ahead of me. So there's the website. Like I said, 6 6-milliliter bottles in the flavor of your choice, nic level of your choice, and if you need a custom VG-PG ratio, that can be accommodated as well. So, let's see what we have in the room, and then we'll figure out how many people are. Alright, so let's do a number from 1 to 75 again. When I say go in chat, pick a number from 1 to 75. And if you have already won, you are welcome to piff to somebody else if you would like to participate. So, go. And then we'll talk about the Nemesis. Give you a few more seconds. Get your numbers in if you haven't yet. 1 to 75, please. And stop. Let's see what we got. 50. Do we have a 50? I don't even see anything close to a 50. Not within a couple numbers anyway. Let's see. Still going up. Alright. So is the closest a 54 and a 40? Oh no, there's a 49. I'm sorry. I missed the 49 from Uncommon. Yep. You got it. All right, congratulations on. I don't know, for some reason the yellow, I just skipped over it for some reason. All right, congratulations. You have a lovely sample pack from Vape Syndicate coming your way. So what I am going to do is send you a message in chat. That'll have my email address in it. And if you could please go to the Vape Syndicate website, or I'm sorry, Vape Syndicate, the E6 Vapors website. Sorry guys, a little tired. E6 Vapors website, E6 Vapors, and pick out 6 flavors and send that to me, the 6 that you want. Send me the nic level that you want, the PG-VG ratio that you want, and also please don't forget to include your shipping address in that as well. And I'm sending you my email right now. There you go. Alright, so yeah, just shoot that over to me when you have a second. And yeah, they have really good juice, so I mean, I know Legend's really good over there. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. Chris actually has tried more of their juices than I have, so he might be able to recommend some if there's something specific you're looking for. But yeah, E6, good stuff. They also have a really wide selection of devices over there too. They carry some high-end stuff if you want to check out their website, so give them a look. So let us move on and talk about the Nemesis. So the Nemesis from Atmomixani, don't know if I am pronouncing that correctly, but the device is all stainless steel. You can get it in a number of different finishes. They have, you know, all brushed, all polished. You can get, this is the Vapor Wall edition, which is a brushed tube and button and then the top cap and the lock ring are polished, and then they have a reverse version of that, which I think is the Eric edition, and then they also have a number of different torched stainless steel versions as well, so you can get them in different torched colors. Very cool. So like I said, the body is all stainless steel, and then the contacts are silver plated brass. The dimensions of the device, it is a 22 millimeter device. It's 62 millimeter in 18350 mode, 76 millimeter in 18500, and 93 millimeter in 18650. You can even set it up in 18650 with a kick if you want to. So it's got enough tube segments to go all the way up to 18650 with a kick. What does it come with? Obviously the mod. This is an 18650 mode. You also get an extra spring for the switch, and you get the extra segment that'll allow you to use a kick, and also this will be used in 18500 mode. You'd take out one of the long segments and replace it with this guy in 18500 mode, and then you would go down to one segment, one of the long segments in 18350 mode. So the device feels extremely well made. The machining quality on it is really, really high. The finish is impeccable. It's actually flawless. I couldn't find any issues with the finish at all. It looks absolutely beautiful, and I really like the engraving on it too. If you can see this is the Nemesis engraving. Pretty cool. Little dual scythe kind of Angel of Death kind of thing going on there, so pretty cool. The device is light, actually, like surprisingly so. I thought that it would be heavier, but without the battery in it, it actually feels quite light. Not flimsy, but it just feels a little bit lighter than I was expecting it to feel. The firing button on it. So this is one of the things that I really like about this device. So the throw on it is it's pretty short. It's not too long, but it's really soft, which I like. You know, it's got a real soft throw. It's a real soft spring in there. Fires every time, and I love the way that this is designed. So the way that the bottom switch is designed is it actually, so you can see this here, the threading is on the exterior, and it threads to the inside of the tube right here, and the way that it threads in is actually how you adjust for variations in the length of the battery. So instead of having to deal with a positive, a telescoping screw on the positive end, or switching out pins, or having all the different types of adjustments that you have with the different types of tube mods that we have out there, with this one you just screw the switch in until it makes contact with the battery, and that's it. That's all you got to do. Yeah, and if you have a bigger battery, it's just unscrewed a little bit further, and that's as far as it goes in. So and then we'll screw it in so it's snug. Awesome design. It's very compact as well. The mod is very short for a device that also has airflow control. Now, I personally don't care about the airflow control because I'm not using anything that would require it. However, it is a nice feature. There are still a lot of people that are using, rebuildables that have airflow through the bottom. It also would be a good device to use a diver with, for example. in, you know, a nice tank. You know, if you had like a trap tank and a diver, this would be great for that. It's got a similar airflow control as the one on the 69 mod. So if you look up close here, you see those two little dots right below those two holes. That means that it's lined up for open air, and then you just turn the top here, and you can adjust it to close off the airflow. All right, and then turn it back, obviously, to open it back up. So great for use with like an Odysseus or a Penelope or something like that that requires the airflow through the bottom. Or if you wanted to use something like a diver with a nice tank, like a privy tank or a trap tank or any other, you know, high-end tank. So that's really nice. The engravings, like I showed you, look really nice. It also has an engraving on the opposite side that says, it has the number and it says Nemesis. Internally, I'll show you the inside of the switch again. It's got a Delrin insulation with a nice soft spring, and that is silver plated brass, that contact, and then the inside of the spring is brass as well. And then the positive contact, I'll show you that here. One moment. Nope, and here's Fred's cameo. Alright, hold on. Fred has to say hi. Say hi, buddy. No? Okay. There you go. So the positive pin, this is also silver-plated brass, and this is adjustable as well. And this you can unscrew and screw in to adjust for the pin on the atomizer. Come on, dude, get out of here. You can adjust for the pin on the atomizer so that you can get your Addy to sit flush on the device. It is not a telescoping, it's just, you know, a single screw that you adjust and, you know, get your device to sit flush on the top there. So let me put this all back together. Alright. It's got really nice big contact points too, which is nice. I like, you know, I hate using really teeny tiny parts because I always find that I drop them and you know, they end up falling into like some crack in the hardwood floors at my place and dig them out. So with these you have those nice big silver-plated screws. They're really easy to clean. You do have to maintain them because they're silver and they will tarnish, but you know, it's recommended you clean them you know, once a week, once every couple weeks, to maintain the high quality performance of the device. So what else? The top cap I'll show you real quick. It's a nice clean flush design, and you can see on the inside there is the if you decide to focus, come on, work with me. Ah, you suck. So it is a nice clean design in there. There we go. You don't have airflow slots because the airflow is through those two little holes I showed you on the side, and as you can see, you've got that adjustable center pin in there as well. Really nice looking. You know, I know that's personal preference, but I think that it's a really nice looking device personally. And the quality of the performance of the device is really, really good. It hits really, really hard. You know, I know a lot of people get sick of hearing, you know, reviewers say, you know, it hits like a train, whatever. But it's comparable to any of the other high-end devices that hit extremely hard and don't have a lot of, you know, loss of voltage. You know, I would compare the performance to that of you know, a Poldiac or a Bear Brass mod or a Caravella, where, you know, you wrap the coil, you set it up, and it hits the way that you would expect it to. You know, you don't have to take a coil off because it's not hitting hard enough like you have, you know, on some devices. And yeah, it hits really well. The silver contacts you have to maintain, but you know, as long as you do that, it will continue to hit well too. I'm gonna take another vape off of it. So, I mean, obviously the vapor production and the flavor, that's going to have a lot of that's going to have to do with the atomizer that you're using on top of it. So I'm not going to get into that. But as far as the, you know, how hard the device hits with, you know, putting the same battery in, you know, like a Bear Brass mod or a Caravella or a Poldiac or any other, you know, a Chiyu, any other devices that are extremely high performance mechanical mods, it is comparable. I love the way it looks. I like the way it feels. I like the way the button feels. It does not fire under its own weight, which is another thing that I like a lot, so I don't have to deal with the, you know, turning the lock ring on it. So the only thing that I don't love about it is something that I've kind of realized is... So at first I didn't love the lock ring. So the reason I didn't love the lock ring is because of this. So if you watch, I'm gonna lock it. Here we go. Okay, we're still going, still spinning. Here we go. Okay, done. Now it's locked, right? Okay. So I mean, you really gotta keep going and going and going and turning that thing to get it to lock. Okay. So that's what I thought, because I'm used to turn. I'm used to devices where you have to keep, you know, you have to turn it until it hits the firing button. But that is not the case with this device. So if you did want to turn the thing all the way down to where it touches the button to lock it, then yeah, you got to turn it for a while. It's because it's really fine threading on the inside of that. However, what I realized is because it's not a super short throw, so I actually have to, you know, I'm pushing it to here. Focus for me, come on now. Trying this again. Okay, so I'm pushing it, you know, pretty far in to get it to fire, which means that you actually don't have to unscrew the lock ring all the way to get it to lock. So unscrewing it just that little bit, now it's actually locked, it's not firing. So so it was really, I guess it was user error on my part. You don't actually have to turn that ring over and over and over again and get it to the point where it meets the button to get it to not fire, you know, when you press the button in. So yeah, so that was really my only gripe about the device, and it's really not a legitimate gripe. So yeah, I mean, overall I love it. It's a really nice device. It's priced comparable to other high-end devices on the market. It does have some features that not all devices have. It does have that airflow control, so if that's something that you're looking for, that's great. It's there, it has it. It's got, you know, it's beautifully machined. It's really high quality. It looks phenomenal, and yeah, I am a big fan of the Nemesis. Definitely a big thumbs up. Highly recommend it. It's you know, I definitely would classify this guy as a keeper. So you know, and they're producing them. You know, they're still not easy to get yet, but you'll be able to get your hands on one easier than you're going to be able to get your hands on some of the other higher end, high performance devices. So just be patient. You know, don't overspend on the classifieds for one of these. They're becoming available. You know, they go up like once a week on the website. So just, you know, keep trying. You'll get one. Yeah, I highly recommend it. So good job, Atmomixani. The Nemesis is is definitely a huge hit. So, well done. All right, so let us do a. I honestly, I probably did get your email address, Timo. I haven't looked at my email since we started the show. I will check after the show is over, though. So, that is it for the reviews. That's the Nemesis. Let us move on, and we're going to do another giveaway, and then we'll do our Q&A at the end of the show. So, next giveaway is going to be from my friends that I think are in the room still, over at Boondock Vapes. One moment, please. Alright, so this is going to be for another big sample pack. So this will be for 4 bottles, all the big sample bottles, 6 milliliter sample bottles, 4 flavors of your choice from Boondock Vapes. I highly recommend the fruit blends over there, like pina colada. I really like mango as well. Cashmere is really good. If you're interested in buying their juice, one of the cool things about Cashmere is they actually donate $1 from every purchase of Cashmere, and it goes to charity. I don't know which specific charity, but I know it's a Feed the Hungry charity, so that's really cool. Yeah, so we're going to give away some of their juice. And you should buy some if you don't win. You should buy some even if you do win. And we're going to do a number from 1 to 75 again. So when I say go in chat, please pick a number from 1 to 75. And yeah, go. Naughty, I just saw your question about the Origin. I still have it, I just haven't reviewed it yet. I was actually going to do it this week, but then my buddy loaned me the Billet box, so I had to do the Diver along with the Billet box this week. So, and I wanted to do the Nemesis this week as well. I actually originally had planned on doing the Nemesis and the Origin together because they look so nice together. I had the Origin on here originally, but I didn't want to use it not having reviewed it. And have it on the show, even though I wasn't doing the review. So, let's see. Keep them coming. Few more seconds. Get your last minute numbers in, or last second numbers, I guess. Alright, and stop. Let's see what we got. 20. Let's see. 18. I see an 18 and a 22. Another 18. Another 22. Oh man, we got a 4-way roll off. Oh my goodness. So, Jedi, piffing to rep. Nocilla, Granny Vapor, and where's the other 18 that I saw? Oh my goodness, can't even keep track. And oh, and Shane. All 4 of you guys are doing a roll off right now. So I'm actually going to do 1 to 20 just because there's 4 of you. So if the 4 of you, when I say go in chat, if you could all pick a number from 1 to 20, and the closest is going to win. So here we go. Go. And again, if you didn't hear your name, if you had an 18 or a 22, this applies to you. So that's Shane, Granny Vapor, Nosilla, and the Jedi who's piffing to Rep 1977. Alright, so Shane, you're the only one I need. Alright, there we go. Let's see what we got. 11 on the dot, Granny Vapor. Congratulations. Alright, so Granny Vapor, I am going to send you a message. You'll see it come across in chat. It's going to have my email address in it, coming from the Hill Giant. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to boondockvapes.com. You're going to pick out 4 flavors that you want, put those in the email. Let me know the nic level that you want, the nicotine level, the PG-VG ratio that you want if you want a custom PG-VG ratio, and also please make sure to include your shipping address in there as well so that we know where to send it to. And here comes my email. Alright, there you go. Congratulations. And thank you, Boondock Vapes, once again for doing the giveaway. Thank you to all my sponsors for the giveaways tonight. I appreciate it. So, we are down to the last 15 minutes of the show, so we're going to do some Q&A. This is kind of open discussion. If you guys have any questions about any of the devices that I talked about tonight, anything I've talked about in the past, anything having to do with rebuildables in general, anything vaping in general, you know, please feel free to pipe up in chat, and I will do my best to answer any questions that you have. And I apologize if there was a question you asked in chat earlier and I missed it. I sometimes have a hard time paying attention to chat while I'm going through my reviews. I've got a bunch of notes that I'm going through on the side, so you know, feel free to ask that again now. I am sure that I did get your email. I actually don't have my email open right now, but hold on a sec. I'll tell you. Why are you guys all of a sudden being all paranoid about me getting your emails tonight? I've never had an issue before. Let me see. Let's see here. Alright. Alright, Fred. Come on, buddy. Get out of here. Let's see. I did get your email for the E6. Let's see. Those bottles are 6 milliliter bottles for the E6 one. So, let's see. Does the Caravella take nipple or flat top batteries? It can do either, actually. The device comes with different size positive pins that you can switch out depending on the type of battery that you're using, whether it's nipple top, flat top, and then you have some slight variation in size between batteries. So it's not telescoping, but you get a set of 5 pins that come with the device in different sizes to get them to fit properly. So, no. Sorry, Chris. Oh, okay. So, alright, do you know how to send me a PM, Timo? Send me a PM in chat. Well, actually, you've already made your email public, so just post your email again and I'll shoot you an email real quick. And Fred has decided to show his ass for the rest of the show, apparently. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what, Timo? Don't worry about it. Jedi actually sent it to me via Skype, so I've got your email. I will shoot you an email after the show so you can get the information for me after the information to me for what you won. So, Alright, any other questions, guys? Oh, is some sort of cleaning you should do with your fecta? The juice is starting to taste bad. So if there's gunk starting to build up on the coil, what I would recommend doing is next time you empty the tank, do a dry burn on the coil. You fire it until it glows and blow on it while you do, and you'll see the kind of black crusty crap come off of the coil. Just do that a few times until you can see that the coil is nice and clean, and then maybe flush the tank out a few times with either alcohol or even just water. It's probably build up on the coil, but it could also be the juice as well. So, oh, okay, for Sam, yeah, if it's starting to taste funny, I would say it could also be a short. Hopefully, it's not a short, but shorts will cause the juice to not taste right. And then, other than that, I would try flushing out the tank. I am looking forward to the 22mm did. I actually like the did. I like all of the devices from Vapors a lot. They're really well made. They perform really well. They're very well thought out. And it'll just be, hopefully it'll perform the same way that the did does, except it'll look really nice on a 22mm device. So yeah, I'd say I'm excited about it. Yeah, I like Vapors a lot actually. The Poldiac's a great mod. All of their products are really good. I think the mini did is actually my favorite. It gets really good flavor with that little tiny top cap. They're all really easy to set up. They all wick really well. I mean, they're just a good device. So, that might mean that you might have screwed it too much, Octa. I don't have one right now. Actually, I can't pull one to look at it for you, but you might have screwed it in too tight and broken the seal on the inside. I really like my Bagua. It is kind of stiff, but actually, Yellow Kiss, the guy that makes it, he commented on a post on Vape Pit. If you didn't see that, he actually commented on my review over on Vape Pit about some people complaining about the magnets being a little bit too stiff, and the the switch being a little too stiff. I guess if you heat up the magnets in hot water, or let the magnets sit in hot water for a little bit, they will lose some of their magnetism and it'll become a softer throw. So you might want to try doing that. I don't remember the amount of time, but if you go on Vape Pit and go into the atomizer review section in my Bagua review thread, his comment about that is in there, and I think he says how long you should have it in the water. So. Pac, I should get one. You're not the first person to ask me that, but I should probably get my hands on one of those, because I keep hearing really good things about them. So, I guess they're all the rage in Germany right now, so I'm gonna have to get my hands on one and try it out. See, the iClear 16, I don't know. I have no idea. I've never used one. Sorry, Timo. Yeah, Pac, I know they are. I've checked a couple times and they were out of stock both times, so I don't know. We'll see what I can do to get my hands on one. But yeah, sign up for stock notifications and pray. No, that's not true, Yardbird. In fact, on my GGTS, I actually replaced the switch spring with magnets. I don't remember what size they are, but I asked over in the GG forum on ECF, and somebody provided me with a link for the magnets to use inside the button, and they worked fine. It sounds like either the coil is not touching the wick all the way around, Timo, or it's just not wicking well, and you're getting dry hits. Because I mean that's what's happening when it's when your wick glows. It means it's not, it's not atomizing juice, and it gets super hot and glows. So what I was told when I ordered them was to order a bunch because they were super cheap. I think they were like a couple cents a piece, maybe 5 cents a piece, and I was told to order like 20 or 30 of them because not all of them will fit. Because there's some slight variation in the size of the magnets, and I actually, when I was putting them in the GGTS, I did find the first like 3 or 4 that I put in didn't fit, and then I found 2 that fit. I think about half of the ones that I got fit, and half of them didn't. So, yeah. But I'm assuming you probably ordered the same ones that I did if you found out about them over on the GG forum on ECF. No problem. I think I still have some, Yardbird. If you want to shoot me a message after the show, I can probably send some over to you. I think I have like 50 of them. I think I still have them. I might have given them away to somebody, but if I still have them, I can send you some. Honestly, I don't know, Timo, just because I don't know what it looks like on the inside. I've never used one, and I've never seen what it looks like, so I don't know what it looks like under the hood. I don't know how the setup's done. So, sorry, man. Or lady. I shouldn't assume. Sorry. No problem, Yardbird. Alright. Well, we only got a couple more minutes, guys, so if you have any other last minute questions, get them in now. We'll be wrapping up here shortly, so. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Actually, I think we'll just wrap it up now. Only got a minute or 2 left, so. Yep, thanks for coming by. Not sure exactly what we're going to do next week. We'll see. I'm probably going to do the Origin next week. Probably do the Stratus 22. And maybe the Ithaca? We'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, it might be all Addies next week. We'll see what happens. So, oh, and just so you guys know, get ready. 2 weeks, not next week, but the week after, on May 29th, we're going to do a special show. I'm going to be reviewing the 2 brand new Addies from Doc Dave that he's got coming out, the 22 Double D and the Mini Micro. The 22 Double D I've showed you on the show before, and then this is the Mini Micro. And he will also be on the show as a guest. So we'll do a little interview with him. You guys will be able to ask him some questions. Maybe he'll tell us a little bit about some stuff he's got coming out in the future. And yeah, so that should be fun. So that's not next week, but the week after. So be ready. Doc Dave will be on the show in 2 weeks. Next week will still be fun too, even though he won't be here. But all right, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. Yeah, feel free to hit me up on Facebook if you have any questions about anything. And everybody that won tonight, I'll get those emails off ASAP. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.